Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope. Yeah, I know. But, oh boy, it seemed to be a no-brainer that a Kenobi film would come out, and it was going to. It was going to be one of those a Star Wars story films, a standalone, and which, as it happens now, those films, which is now only Rogue One and Solo, were the best that Disney Star Wars has produced. I know that Solo, which really suffered because of Last Jedi, but Solo was leaps and bounds better than Last Jedi. It's just kind of a dumb film, really, but still had a story, had a plot, and all that, and some adventure. So I didn't mind it. I was kind of surprised that I didn't mind it, but yeah, so a Kenobi film seems like, oh yeah, but then oh well, because Solo lost money. Yes, hashtag Solo lost money. It most certainly did. Oh well, we're scrapping that whole thing, which I kind of thought was a mistake. But the real damage was the sequel trilogy that they just didn't know what they were doing. So then Kenobi's going to be a series for D+, and I figured certainly that's what they were going to do. And because the thing about the streaming wars is you got to have new material. You've got to have something to draw people into it. Something special. And of course, Mandalorian went a long way with that, but then unfortunately it came to an end, and so people started unsubscribing. And they'll come back later, probably for the Marvel shows, but those weren't ready. They're not ready to go. It won't be till the fall that we'll see one. And so that's a problem. You want to hold your subscribers as long as you possibly can, but you don't have anything. And that's why you see other deals going with, HBO Max locking down other stuff, and even moving their CW shows just for the purpose of, we've got stuff. But I don't know that CW is your saving grace. A certain cut of a certain superhero team movie might, but that's another story. But anyway, so here at Bounding in the Comics, now that we've pretty much all but heard that the Kenobi series, well, it's on hold. It's being rearranged, even though Ewan McGregor said the scripts were fantastic. It's always fantastic. And it's in trouble and all this crap, and the crew was sent home after being sent to, where was it? Somewhere in England they were going to start shooting. And no, it's on hold and all this stuff. And then, people saying it was canceled altogether. I really didn't think they would cancel it completely. But what have you. And now we have Star Wars artist Jordan Maison reporting that Kenobi series being repurposed back into a movie. Now, I've heard that the series was primarily going to just be a mini-series, and that it would at most have 6 episodes, which that's enough footage to where that sounds like, yeah, they're just taking what was going to be the movie and trying to turn that into a TV series, which you could do with a few shoots here and there to, have it where you can end after your however long. If you're going to do it like Mandalorian and only 30-minute episodes, then yeah, you could do that. You could split up. Well, that's 4 episodes in a typical 2-hour movie. If it was more than 2 hours, then there you go. You can get 6 episodes out of that. Plus, there's always, raw footage has way more hours to it than the actual final release that you get. So there was certainly enough material for something like that. So I'm thinking that's all it ever was. And for whatever reason, it stunk. People were noticing it must not have been all that great. There's probably a fan Kenobi films that are better than that, and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, let's get into this. I'll read for you like a story time. Star Wars artist and former contributor to StarWars.com, Jordan Mason, reports the Obi-Wan Kenobi series starring Ewan McGregor, which was expected to stream on Disney Plus, is being repurposed back into a feature film. As reported by Bleeding Fool, let's give them credit too here. Mason took to Twitter to write, well, since I've had more than 2 separate people tell me, I can share a tidbit. Seems like they were or are hard to say right now, considering shifting it back to a movie instead of a show. So yeah, the keyword back. So yeah, it was supposed to be a movie, and then it was shipped. So similar to what I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's just a guess that Mandalorian was originally the Boba Fett movie, possibly called Mos Eisley. But anyway, that was the film they were going to do, another standalone, a Star Wars story. And then that, possibly because of the mess with Josh Trank and all, it got shelved for a while, then repurposed into a TV series with Mandalorian. And considering the storyline of Mandalorian, you can understand why Boba Fett was a bit too mean to be that guy. Was there any redemption for Boba Fett? But anyway, that's what they did. And so it became that. So they probably figured, well, we'll do the same thing with Obi-Wan. But apparently, Kenobi just didn't quite have, the script, I'm guessing. And they said, look, this isn't going to work. So he added, the lower episode count would mean they've certainly trimmed elements down. #Kenobi. The Disney Plus series was initially conceived as a film. McGregor revealed that fact in an interview with Coming Soon. Oh, there you go. I should have read this more before I did this. It wasn't always going to be a series, not initially. When we first started talking about it, that wasn't really in the cards, but everything's changed so much. Yeah, it sure did, didn't it? It's really exciting that it is now. I'm really into the idea to be able to tell the story over several hours instead of just one hit. I think it's going to be quite cool. Yeah. Everything is wonderful and great. Yeah. A lot of times these interviews are virtually useless, but little tidbits like that, it says, yeah, it was supposed to be a film, but now we're going to do a TV series. Maze's report comes after both Collider and The Hollywood Reporter indicated that Kenobi was on hold. Collider even reported the crew that assembled at Pinewood Studio. Yeah, Pinewood, okay, yeah, right. Was sent home. The Hollywood Reporter would indicate there were issues with the scripts. Sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that the scripts, only 2 were written, and story became an issue and that the entire package has been jettisoned. Good Lord. Now they got to do an entirely new story. They also reported the show would be reduced to 4 episodes. Oh, boy. However, the idea that there were issues with the script was refuted by actor Ewan McGregor. Yeah, while promoting Birds of Prey. Oh, my God. They should have picked someone else to promote it. Ewan, you're a good actor, but a promo artist... Anyway, I've read about 80-90% of what they've written so far, and it's really, really good. Instead of shooting this August, they just want to start shooting in January. That's all. Nothing more dramatic than that. It often happens in projects. They just wanted to push it to next year. McGregor also indicated that he had not heard anything about the show's episode count being reduced. I haven't heard that, McGregor stated. Okay. The Hollywood Reporter's report was a little far-fetched to begin with, especially with the idea that there were problems with the script. When the series was announced at D23, Kathleen Kennedy stated, "We are really close. We have all the scripts written. We are ready to start shooting next year. We could not be more excited. Can't wait to start production." Yeah, like how Palpatine was always a part of the plan, right, Kathy? It's safe to assume that Kennedy and Lucasfilm would have been satisfied with the scripts if she's going to make a statement indicating they've been written. However, Lucasfilm has an increasing pattern of having issues with creatives and specifically directors. Colin Trevorrow was replaced by J.J. Abrams for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, even though his script was a lot better. Yeah, he leaked images and details about his Duel of the Fates. Yeah, it was a lot better. I still had problems with where the story was going, but it was way better than Rise of Skywalker, and that's too bad. Rogue One, Star Wars Story, saw Tony Gilroy come in and heavily edit the Gareth Edwards-directed film. Yeah. Gilroy is the film's ghost director. Yeah. I still, that's with other cuts out there, like a certain superhero film that I would like to see. I would like to see these other cuts of Rogue One. Maybe it's really bad, but but I liked Rogue One as it is. It's the best of the Disney films. So they saved that one, more or less. And Gilroy described what Rogue One looked like before he came in, and they were in such a swamp. They were in so much terrible, terrible trouble that all you could do was improve their position. Holy crap. Well, Maybe I don't want to see it. He also detailed that there was a lot of confusion with the film as well. If you look at Rogue, all the difficulty with Rogue, all the confusion of it, and all the mess, and in the end, when you get in there, it's actually very, very simple to solve. Well, yeah, that's the thing. A lot of the movies that end up becoming hits and stuff is simplicity. Sometimes they overthink things too much, trying to prove themselves that they're really clever and are creative geniuses and whatnot, and they end up messing things up quite a bit. And that could be some of the problems. Who knows with whatever scripts they put down for Kenobi. They say, oh, God, not again. But anyway, Kennedy and Lucasfilm would also have issues with Solo, Star Wars. Boy, did they. So Phil Lord, Chris Miller, yeah, they got canned. There's another cut I would like to see. What was that about? Even though, as I've stated, I like the film. It's not as good as Rogue One. There's stupid moments in it, the dumb droid and everything, but and his name, that, oh God, all that dumb crap. But other than that, it's just sort of okay, So I don't have a problem with Ron Howard there, but I can't help but be curious. What did Lord and Miller do? So crew member told Variety, I've got a lot of overtime under Lord and Miller, which ultimately was their downfall. Oh, boy, they kept shooting and shooting and shooting. So, boy, there's a lot of footage sitting in the can on that one. The first assistant director of Brokers with production, he ultimately went to the well one too many times, and Kathleen Kennedy blew up. Boy, wouldn't it be nice to be a fly on the wall on that one, huh? However, a source close to Lord Miller indicated Kennedy and company were constantly overruling their ideas. In their minds, Phil and Chris were hired to make a movie that was unexpected and would take a risk, not something that would just service the fan. Oh, boy, that doesn't sound good. You mean to tell me Kathleen Kennedy was trying to do fan service? I find that hard to believe. They wanted it to be fresh, new, emotional, surprising, and unique. These guys looked at Han as a maverick, so they wanted to make a movie about a maverick. But at every turn, when they went to take a risk, it was met with a no. Well, Han Solo is a maverick, so plus he would probably be more in his scoundrel phase because it's the love of Leia that made him a hero. So he doesn't meet her yet. So, but maybe that was the overruling. I don't know. So, yeah, needless to say, there appears to be rapid chaos at Lucasfilm, and it's still there because Mandalorian. That really wasn't them. That's all Favreau and Filoni. Yeah. The people who really should be in charge of Lucasfilm. The only bad part there is that would take them away from being, completely involved in a Mandalorian series or any other series they might take on, because then they got to run the whole ship. But it looks like, maybe Kenobi is not the only hope. It's Favreau. Help me, Favreau. Oh, boy. But Kenobi seemed like a no-brainer to me. I mean, you have this actor available. He's one of the ones that just about everyone agreed, really loved his performance in the prequels, despite the problems people had with it. And they just can't get their act together. Time's ticking. So, actually, if it becomes a film, I'd be fine with that. But I find it a little odd that oh God, let's just make it a film again. It's like they don't know what to do because again, D+ needs material, and I would have thought they would hold on to it no matter what. Maybe just release it as a film on D+. So instead of putting it in theaters and whatnot. But I don't know. Considering the track record, they probably should go back to just doing a Star Wars story movie. Because they seem to do those better, even though not without a lot of work and pain and money spent. They can't keep spending the money on shooting 3 or 4 movies to get to one, So who knows? But yeah, that's Lucasfilm. Still a mess. Still a mess. Anyway, thank you for watching and listening. Say, why not like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my many stores that have plenty of goodies for you, especially over at indieplanet.com, where you can pick up the copy of my comic book, Night Night, based on my audio plays of, yes, Night Night, but now you can see them in the brilliant color within the pages of Night Night, so do check that out. And you can catch my podcast over at radiomisfits.com, the Mr Nailsin Show, and you can also watch my videos over at BitChute.